Told
Hey,
ya.
there we go. Okay. So, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Paperless Podcast. In this episode, I have both of my very handsome co-host, Adrian, handsome as always,
Of course, you already know. What's up, everybody?
and Curtis with
Yes,
the
that is
awful audio quality as always.
man. You're gonna make me quit.
Starting it off early today.
Okay,
All
just
right.
kidding.
Gonna quit this podcast.
His audio is actually decent today, so we good. And with us, you already probably know what, but
If you
with
read the
us,
title.
yeah, of course, we have Nick from Elemental Playing Cards. What's
Guys,
up, Nick? How are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Exquisite.
My dad came to my house at 8 p.m. I don't know why. So I had to put like this piece of paper that says "Do not disturb." I'm recording that podcast. I wearing sunshades in my room because I have a light sensibility problem. So I'm doing it as good as I can.
Oh, all right. That's good.
I'm more surprised you have a dad. No.
Oh my god,
I was-
this guy,
No, but,
that hurt.
that's
That
not.
hurt.
And by that I mean we rarely talk about family. You know.
What's family? What's a
Um,
family?
What's a family? Yeah.
Yeah. I knew what a family was up until about 3 years old when my parents
Oh
my dad went to a different server.
god. Stop.
Anyways, back on track. Nick, would you like to present yourself?
Yeah,
Give us
sure.
your spoken word curriculum vitae.
What was
Of
that?
course. The more
Speak
info we
your-
got from you, the better.
Present your resume as to why you're worthy of being on this podcast, basically.
Yeah.
I guess I am worthy because I've been asked.
Yeah, that's good
Of
enough.
course.
All right, so
Fair.
moving on.
Fair.
No, so Nick, besides your great picks for trailers, as we can clearly see from the Oxygen Deck trailer featuring yours truly,
That's right.
yeah, you've created some recent bangers.
Thank you.
Especially with the you went with something that's completely, well, it was unexpected to me anyways. Your most recent metallic ink vibrant neon work, and a collab with Luke Wadey, that was
Right.
And one with Nicolas
unexpected
Molinas.
as well.
Shout out to the homie.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
I mean, as every deck I put out, I feel like I have more hands helping me out because there's a lot of talent that I find in the community, and a lot of time I find they're more than willing to help. So it's great, and I love that community for it.
He hasn't done any decks with me, so I must be talentless. I mean, just saying.
Or you're not part of the community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or I'm not part of the community. Fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talk about Nick.
All right.
So-
So just for some general context, Nick here is a playing card designer who creates playing card designs based off of the periodic table, just so that like everyone's on the same page, right? Because we just kind of
Yeah,
introduced him. So
He is a playing card designer that designs playing cards. But he's also,
Of course.
just a general designer. He's he does illustrations. The Jokers on his decks. Well, at least
Okay,
the
hold
Oxygen
on,
deck,
hold on.
best
Adrian, I
Wait,
didn't know you were
best deck
called Nick.
ever.
Wait. Can you? Let's just do this right. Nick, can you introduce yourself to everyone that might not know you?
Oh, courtesy. Okay, anyways. Yeah.
Sure. So I've been designing decks now for about was 3 years, I think now. About 3, yeah. The first one I did was the hydrogen deck. So yeah, I'm designing cards. I started out as a designer. Went to school, got my BA in graphic design. Then I actually. So I was working in design for a few years, and then actually I went back to school to become a science teacher. So I got out of the design field, and now I am currently teaching middle school science. Yeah, that's where I am right now, while also designing decks by night.
Actually, just out of curiosity, do your students know that you design decks?
Yeah, a handful of them do. And I have come across a few, maybe 2 or 3 of my students that are or have been into cardistry.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've seen them with like, some verts or something like that. And that's how I knew. You see somebody with a deck of verts, you're like, oh, yeah, you're into cardistry.
Can any of them do Pandora, though? Because if not, then it doesn't really.
Right. So, actually, what got you into the playing card field? Because I know from Adrian that you dabble in, cardistry and kind of Magic, but, what's the transition?
Oh, yeah. So this might be a long story. I'll
we got all day.
We have the time.
Yeah, we have all day. Yeah, 3.
So it actually started. I first got into Magic, and that's where it all first stemmed from. Which I think for a lot of people and anybody who's into cards, I think it usually stems from Magic or wanting to learn Magic. So I picked up, got into Magic. I want to say, was it maybe 10 years ago now? Maybe probably longer, 15, 20 years ago. I don't know. Right around the time,
at least 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. It was right around the time Theory 11 and Illusionist first started.
Damn. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. So I first got into Magic through their websites, and they started putting out decks, and I started collecting them. And at that time I was still in school as a designer, and I was like, I want to design my own deck, and I didn't really have the skill set I think I needed at that point, so I kind of just gave up. And then I kind of lost my way into Magic and whatnot. I gave it up for a while, and it actually wasn't until I was teaching for a few years, and we were able to have one period where the teachers had a club period, and we got to make the club whatever we wanted. So I ended up making it. Well, first I made it a graphic design club, but that didn't work out because our computers were terrible, and they didn't have any of the programs we needed. But then I switched it to a playing card club, because I had all these decks of playing cards. I could just bring a bunch of decks of playing cards, and the kids can play cards all period, because kids love playing cards. Plus, they got to pick their club. So my club actually got pretty big, because again, they wanted to play cards.
So
and,
gotta add that to the resume.
Yeah. So from there, I think whenever there's a bunch of kids and cards laying around, Magic, doing a card trick here or there pops up. So, some kids started doing some card tricks, and I started doing some that, I remember that I was really rusty with, and they really enjoyed it. And then I started, just looking up cards again, see what was out there, seeing what I missed since I've been, since I took my hiatus from it. And I think one of the first cards I remember seeing was the Anyone Checkers, or the checkerboard, and how people were going crazy for it. Now, keep in mind, at this point, I didn't know anything about cardistry. I didn't know anything about any of that. Actually, I think cardistry was first starting when I was ending my journey into card Magic, and I saw it, and at first I didn't get it. I was just like, okay, so they're manipulating the cards, great, but it's not even a false cut. What good is this? If it was a false cut, I was like, okay, yeah, it's a cool way to do a false cut, sure. But if not, what's the point? So all of that I kind of disregarded, and then I came back and I saw it and like, oh, okay, this is actually really cool. It's not about using the cards for any of that. It's just flourishing the cards in really fun, cool ways. So yeah, from there I saw checkerboard. I'm like, why are people going crazy for this deck? It's just a checkerboard pattern. Like, I don't get it. I was like, I can definitely design something way better than that. And
sure.
through that, well, I mean, through that you kind of learn it's not really about the design. It's about the people.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, it's not just a checkerboard pattern.
Right.
It's like the story behind anyone. And like, is there
exactly? And I learned that.
Nick Nisco left the company. Yeah.
Yeah, and I learned that later on, right? Because like it was like, well, okay, so the one square is red. Who cares? And it's like, yeah, but that's there for a purpose, right? These are cardistry decks. You got to see them in movement. The whole purpose of the deck is movement. And once I understood that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. The people who are putting it out, and there was thought behind it, so it makes sense.
Yeah. That's why when everyone asked me what's like my favorite. One of my favorite decks, like my top 10 or top 5, dots is there. Because the meaning of the dot in the dot playing cards is movement. Like, the simplest way to show movement is a dot moving from one side to the other.
Right.
So that's what I like that.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but dots came out after the checkers, right?
Yeah.
So
it was a second.
Yeah, so it seems like they took that concept and they pushed it even further with the dot deck, which you might think might have been the other way around which is why I asked, because I wasn't sure, because they ended up simplifying it even more. But I think in simplifying it also somehow made it more dramatic.
Yeah, less is more,
Yeah, and you can see like the concept of the deck in the last minute video, because I remember, I don't know if it's Noel or Nikolai, but they are doing some card history with the dot deck, and it's really beautiful and interesting because you can see each movement of each card, because the dots are going from top to bottom, left to right. They're going in circles and everything. And that's
and
like
he's doing
really
his,
good
isolation stuff. It's like such a nice way of displaying, the whole, and even like you said, last minute, like the whole video and the concept that it's a Japanese flag. They went to Japan, made a video with it. It's like so many layers. But what a normal person on the street would see is, a gray square with a red circle on it, right?
Right.
To us,
it's like, why is this $15 or whatever they charge for?
Yeah, it's like, but I mean, it's the same with art. Like, I remember telling you guys, like Adrian and Curtis, that there is minimalism and conceptual art, and even ready-made art, and that people say, yeah, I can do that. But it's like, yeah, you can, but you didn't. They did it first. So that makes them smarter than you because they did it first.
So true. Yeah.
So that's
same conversation with somebody when I went to the MoMA over here, one of the museums in New York, and I went with a friend who, I was an art student, so I always went to these to museums and whatnot. He wasn't. He was in business. So I took him, and there's this one painting. I forgot who did it, but it's literally just blue. It's just painted blue, like solid blue.
I think that is Mark Rocco. I'm pretty sure it's Rocco.
Yeah, probably. But he's looking, he's like, why is this here? Like, I can do that. It's like, yeah, you can do it, but you didn't. And that's the point.
Exactly.
That's why he's on an art gallery and you're
exactly not. That's the reason. That's why, like, when people ask me about my favorite painting, I say it is White on White by Malevich, because it's literally a white painting with a white square inside it. So you can't.
That painting will look good in any room.
Exactly, and it makes sense in a way. Right. If you stand there, just watching, contemplating, you are going to find some sort of meaning with it. Right. I think it's the same with playing cards. That's why
Pablo, I think you should take that painting and make it into a deck.
I wanted to, like, legit, no cap. I legit wanted to do that, like, for Misprint, because my brand Misprint is just about experimenting with art in playing cards. It's like, see how far I can push the limit before people call me out.
What if you took that concept and the uncut sheet looks like the artwork?
Oh, bro. I have to write that down. I have to write that down.
You got a live consultation happening. If he gives you any more advice, you're going to have to start, drop the
I have to write that down, bro. That's so smart.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you've seen the uncut sheet for 45s? It's kind of like that. Very, it's a kind of a long shot, but like the way,
actually, like, I love that painting so much. I'm getting a tattoo of a square inside a square.
And can you do that in white? Do they have white ink?
I'm trying to get it in white, but I will probably just do the outlines.
Pablo pulling Michael Jackson on a smaller scale.
Because here's the thing with that painting. Like, it's called white on white, but it's not white on white. It's like really light blue with a tiny square that is really light yellow. So it's not really white.
Well, you're saying there's different shades of white,
yeah, it's different shades of white. Exactly. That's it. So it's not just white on white. That's why I find it really smart and really beautiful, because he thought about all that before doing it.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
So getting back on the deck talk, can you continue talking about your story, your journey of playing cards?
Yeah, so here's something I don't think I've actually mentioned before, but the Hydrogen V1, I actually took inspiration from the Checkers deck, which is, if you look at it,
it's the core cards, right?
No, not the core cards, the back design.
Core cards?
The back design. So if you look at the back design of the V1, the Hydrogen V1, you'll see there's squares in there, and the thickness of the H's, right? You'll have a group that's thick and a group that's thin, make up a checkerboard pattern.
That's
this
smart.
is like the layers right now are just.
Oh shit!
I don't know if you guys remember what it looks like off the top of your head. You might have to search it up. But yeah, that was sort of the inspiration / idea behind it, because the Checkers deck was the first deck that I came across when I was getting back into collecting cards and whatnot, and it's the one that made me want to start designing decks again.
Yeah, I'm I'm number one Element playing cards fan, so I'm gonna go get my deck right now and legit check your claims. So I'll be right back. But yeah,
talking about your decks, do you still have any left? Then you can sell me or send me. I don't know.
Send me some more. It's not like I wasn't in a trailer or anything that was wildly successful.
Oh my god,
Adrian, you should have a bunch of oxygens.
You sent me 3. What you mean a bunch? That's not a bunch where I come from.
I sent you 3.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I could have sworn
it was a prototype. That doesn't even count. Actually, I'm thinking about selling it on eBay. I'm pretty sure I can get a pretty penny. But that's besides the point.
I sent you more than 3.
I sent you the picture. It was Gambler's Warehouse 3, and I have the sticker on my desk.
3? I should have sent you more than 3.
I mean,
or at least
you can send me 3 if you want.
I'm just saying. Hey,
damn,
you want to
really sad? I only have 8 hydrogen decks left to myself.
Oh,
you're lying.
Yeah.
Send me the oxygen. I'll take either.
So
you can send me oxygen if you want. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, so no oxygen. I only have 8 oxygen decks left.
You're lying, dude.
I'm not lying. I have 8 8 oxygen decks left, and I have I have about 2 bricks of.
What'd you do with all of them? Jeez.
Yeah, what did you do with them?
I had a lot, and I gave a bunch away to friends and family. And
what are friends?
yeah. And then when I did the one of my last campaigns, I had to.
Oh, you had it as the add-on.
Well, I had it as an add-on, and then I had the case that took 2 oxygen decks with it when I did H2O. Not H2O, CO2. When I did CO2 for carbon, and I didn't have any more except for my own private reserve, so I had to give all those up to fulfill the CO2 cases.
I guess we're taking carbon.
It makes sense.
We've downgraded even more, but hey, free cards are free cards. I'm kidding, by the way.
I'm fine with carbon. I'm squashing the beef with Luke, so that should work.
No, not the graphite edition, please. I'll stick. Please, I'll keep the 3 that you sent me. Fine. Just not the graphite. Fuck.
I love the graphite edition. The graphite edition came out amazing.
Yeah, he's just fucking around.
Noise? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man. So we heard it here first. Nick from Elemental Playing Cards owes me at least a brick of decks. So you guys heard it.
And he's so nice that he's sending everyone a brick.
Yeah, he actually. Yeah, so Nick, we obviously consulted you beforehand, and listeners of the Paperless podcast are actually getting a free brick on the house.
No. Right? If you subscribe, you are getting a free deck. If you subscribe and share, you're getting a free brick.
Yep.
Of misprints? That's nice of you guys.
Well played.
I mean,
well played.
Well, misprint is not yet printed, so I can just push it back
NFT to files.
Yeah, you're just going to get the NFT or something like that. I can push it to 2028 or something like that, and
versus the original date 2027, because this man has been slacking on that for so long.
Bro, you even spoke to Dan and Dave, and he's not progressing with this print.
I spoke with Dan about it. He actually knew the deck.
Oh, nice.
But he didn't knew it was mine, so he was surprised. He had some nice words to say about it.
That's awesome.
So having one of my idols saying that my deck is really good, that meant a lot to me.
Yeah, they're one of the first people that got me into they got me into Magic. I saw their stuff. I have their DVD set, the trilogy. I bought it as soon as I saw it. They're like gods.
That's so the awesome. Next question I was going to ask, because I know you and me talked about this personally, but there's a lot of Dan and Dave inspiration in your decks, and you were telling me the court cards. If you guys look at the original Smoke and Mirror court cards, they're not only simplified, but they have a really bright and vibrant yellows and reds. And if you look at the OG. The hydrogen deck, you're going to see very similar design elements and, just the vibe. Right?
For the new hydrogen deck, I simplified the core cards even more. I took out even more from them, so they're even simpler than the boneless.
Yep.
Yeah.
They look
actually talking about hydrogen and Nick decks. I remember one of the first interactions I had with him was asking him to sponsor one of the giveaways I used to do. I used to do I don't remember if it was weekly or daily giveaways, something like that.
It was weekly. Yeah.
It was weekly, yeah. So
Curtis won one of those, so type rigged in the chat right now.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh my god. Oh shit.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
I mean, it's not that bad when you have 3 entries and one of them is.
Oh my god, no, legit. People used to enter those giveaways I remember the most I got, it was out of Elemental playing cards giveaway and so-called playing cards giveaway. Like, I got like 200 people joining the giveaway or something like
Damn,
that.
son.
Nice.
Yeah. And like, Nick was so nice with me because I was just there like, yo, I'm doing these weekly giveaways. I don't know if you want to sponsor one. Let me know. And I legit thought he was going to say no or something like that, but he said yeah.
He's nice.
He said like, do you want me to give away 1 or 2? And I was like, I mean, your choice. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, just like he's gonna give 2 free decks to everybody.
Yeah, I think he gave away 2. One hydrogen and 1 oxygen.
I don't even remember. That was a while back.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
That photo I made of the oxygen deck is so good. Like, it's still one of my favorites.
The render you made. Yeah, it was really
the
nice.
render I made.
Yeah,
Actually,
I'm probably redoing that one, but like in better quality.
Right.
Because my quality back then was really bad.
Get ready to get your artwork stolen one more time. Let's go.
Selling it as an NFT, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
wow.
If you want to buy it, you can. Just saying.
You just buy it back from him, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, speaking of hydrogen, why did you decide to revisit it for your newest deck? Because I don't know, there's so many elements, but
there's at least 5 elements on the periodic
Yes.
table. You just had to go back to that one.
You are correct. There are at least 5 elements on the periodic.
Maybe even 6. I haven't checked in a while, but I'm assuming, right?
But yeah, so the reason is, I guess, my progression of what I've been doing. So I started out with hydrogen really because it's the first element. So that was the first deck I released. Then I did oxygen because I wanted to show how, like, the tuck case, the tuck boxes could, like, connect together to make different molecules. So I made H2O, right?
Yeah.
Then the third deck, I was showing allotropes. So I did 2 carbon decks, right? 2 ways that carbon exists. It exists as a diamond and it exists as graphite. So that was the first time I did an allotrope. And I also, carbon happens to be my absolute favorite element because of how versatile it is and how, just based on how those molecules are connected and combined, how they can make 2 totally different things, right? Like diamond is so completely different than graphite in every way possible, yet it's the same. They're both made from the same exact element. And then from there, I want to do something different again and showcase how I would be, like, how I plan on doing V2s, V3s if I ever do. And that is why I did the next hydrogen.
Got it.
Yeah, so I did deuterium, which is an isotope. So every element, for the most part, has an isotope. So I did the deuterium isotope to show what a V2 would look like. And I threw in a limited edition because I haven't done a limited edition yet. And I really haven't done any decks in in color. I feel like they've all been black and white, maybe except for oxygen. So I want to do like a vibrant color. So that's why I did the magenta version of the hydrogen as the limited edition. Yeah,
that was so crazy. I remember first seeing that and I was like, that's not him. That's got to be a fan render. Like,
yeah.
Not a fan, but like a fan. Yeah, not the other fan.
Just throwing this out there. If you ever do a blue sky deck, I'm down for it. That was a Breaking Bad reference.
Speaking of Breaking Bad, I was just gonna ask, chemistry. Hypothetically.
Oh
right?
My God, this guy about to ask
in a room.
You
No, I'm not gonna ask that. Assuming you were locked in a room with the required, the chemicals and the ingredients and the flask and stuff that you would hypothetically need. This isn't an admission of guilt, by the way.
Oh my God!
To make a product that might chemically resemble methamphetamine.
A blue.
Would you be
It has to be blue. It has to be blue.
Yeah,
too probably not.
Oh, Damn it.
Yeah.
FBI ran get him. But yeah, that's fine. So Curtis, I think you were gonna ask.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were going to
so
ask something.
transitioning from your brand
Matt?
to
Oh yeah, that's
another
it.
one, Slow Hands.
Oh
Oh yeah, he
yeah.
does those decks. That's
Smooth
Yes.
true.
transition.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Okay,
Everyone
wait.
was like, "Oh yeah, that exists."
Can
No,
I?
no shade to Kier. Like, we are going to have him here eventually.
Here's
Alright,
gonna
He
be
he,
yeah.
here.
he just
So
keeps dodging us. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So just as a throwaway comment, can I just say like the V2s, the Turtles deck, it gives me trypophobia.
oh my god.
Yeah, every time you posted a new picture of the turtle hand, he sent it to the chat like, "I'm like, please, I'm uncomfortable."
It actually
Yeah,
looks like
that's true.
crawling
That's
towards
true.
you, and like it's gonna suffocate you. I'm just like, I don't like. Yeah.
well, so that'll say wait till the next one.
Yeah,
I
Okay, so
like the B2s more than the B1s. Well, maybe
why?
because the B1s are like really bicycle like,
Yeah. Well,
and
that,
I don't like that. The B2s
so
are
that
really
was
good.
that was the whole idea behind the V1s was because the whole series is really about starting out with cards and magic.
yeah,
And when you first start with cards, what's most people, I say like 99% of people are picking up a deck of bikes. So that's what everybody is used to. That's what everybody knows. So when Kier was throwing this concept out at me, I was like, we should make we should make this deck resemble a bicycle deck because that's what people know. That's what people first pick up when they get into cards in any way, shape, or form. So that was the reason we did that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the B2s are inspired in like any decks.
No deck. No, that one's not inspired by any deck specifically. That one really drew inspiration from since we were doing we went from a snail to a tortoise. It was really just inspired by the
Because
tortoise shell. Yeah.
looking at the design as a whole, it kind of resembles aristocrat decks.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah, like a little bit, just because it has like a shape inside another shape, and that shape has more shapes inside. Yeah,
I take that as a
I
compliment
would
'cause I
be.
love the aristocrat decks.
yeah, it's really good. Like, it's my favorite so far. I like it because I'm a bitch for green. If you have something that's green, I'm probably buying it, or I will like it.
Yeah, the color we absolutely love the color. We wanted to toe the line between green and blue, and I think it's really riding that line really nicely. Living between those two colors. I think I feel it's a shade more blue than green, but it's definitely
Yeah, you can see some accents, some green
yeah
accents in there. Yeah,
yeah
looks really good.
yeah. Thank
So,
you.
actually talking about like decks, can you tell us a little bit more about your design process from like the selection of elements to placing that idea into a playing card?
Yeah, so I'll go back to the hydrogen V1s because that's where it all started. So I mentioned I drew inspiration from the A1 checkers deck, and one of the other things I was trying to do with the back design was showcase how hydrogen itself, the element, is the most abundant element in the universe. So on the back design, what I want to do is throw a bunch of H's on there, like as many. I could probably throw more on there, but there's a certain balance you have to strike. So I threw as many H's on there as I could to also kind of represent how hydrogen is so abundant in the universe.
Sure.
And then with oxygen, really the idea really was to depart from what I did with hydrogen. I want every deck to feel and look different from one another because every element is different from one another. Oxygen was kind of more showcasing my skill as being able to design a deck that was more, I guess, mainstream, I guess I would call it, because the hydrogen deck is, I don't think there's anything out there quite like that design. Whereas the oxygen deck, it feels more familiar, I think, in terms of card back design. So, yeah, keeping in mind that was my second deck I ever did. So I felt as though I had to do something that I could showcase my talents in being able to do something like that. But, doing it my way and doing it in a way that...
I think you can actually really feel that, because it makes sense. I know that you said that you just chose the blue just because you wanted to, but if you think about it, when you think about breathing or like oxygen, the first color it comes to your mind is blue.
Very true.
And like not only blue, but like really light, calm blue. So it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you think about the sky and you think about oxygen.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why that color comes to mind.
Yeah, and the whole that "Just Breathe" slogan that came along with the deck.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that's really helpful when like practicing. I'll just like look down at my sticker.
Shout out oxygen.
Of course, yeah. Shout out, air, lungs. Walter White can't relate, but just I look down at the sticker, I breathe, I chill, because when you're practicing or learning something, your hands are so tight and you're so focused. You just breathe, take a second, slow it down. It's way better, makes it a better experience and everything. So yeah, it's super cool.
And the design is really calming.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of going for all of that, and again, trying to make it somewhat more familiar. As a card back design, which I think I'm really happy with the way it came out. Although I do, going back to the Just Breathe thing, it's kind of funny how the deck was finally released when COVID hit and everybody's like wearing these masks and it's like
bad timing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just breathe, but with a mask on.
Yeah, exactly.
Conservatively.
and 6 feet away from me.
Yeah.
Please use your mask. For everyone listening to this, please use your mask.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless you're vaccinated.
And please get vaccinated. Please get vaccinated.
Even if you are vaccinated, you still need to use your mask.
Yeah, some of y'all are really ugly, so I'd rather you keep it. Anyways. But yeah, it's funny that you mentioned how you wanted to make it look like a more traditional back design, because it's true that there's nothing like the hydrogen deck, because with decks you see nowadays, you either get a busy design with a circle in the middle, or you get a 2 logo decks, or you get a pattern back design. That's kind of their gimmick, right? But with the original design, you're getting like all 3 things, right? So it's really interesting to just like sit there and look at all the different. Yeah, I mean, you explained it previously, but it's so good.
Like I think that's why I personally like your decks, because like they're really unique. I know that you said that oxygen is pretty mainstream, but it's still really unique because of like the meaning you can find inside it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really vibe with that. Like looking at my work, I like pretty weird or unique stuff. So I think that's why I like your stuff. And yeah, just wanted to say that.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm starting to appreciate oxygen. I might pull up. There's this like oxygen bar downtown. You just sit there. They put tubes up your nose like you're a terminal, illness patient.
Oh my! Stop! Stop!
Yeah.
You cannot.
Have you guys never seen that? You guys are off the beans. You guys.
They've had that. They have that or I don't know if they still do. They've had that in Vegas. You had
right. Well, yeah, it's a thing, right? It's
you have like
bar.
flavored oxygen.
It's not scented, by the way. It's just flavored. I'm gonna pull up, make a banger video using the
oh my god
carbon deck. Bro. Ironically enough, no. But yeah.
So returning back to slow hands, just out of curiosity, how much creative freedom did you have on that deck? Because you're actually like working for another person. I'm just wondering, like, how much input did you have?
Really, as much as I wanted. I come up with the ideas, I show Kier, and he'll tell me, how he feels about it.
But yeah, that looks good. I can make a review of that.
All right. So wait. So does he choose the animals, or do you choose the animals?
We discuss it. It's the whole both decks. Everything we've done so far has really been like 50-50. Like I give him my ideas, he gives me his ideas, and it's a conversation that we have.
So I'm just going to plug myself in this conversation. Like, if you ever do a slot deck, I'm your guy.
Oh, what?
I love slots.
Oh, slow.
Two-toed or two-toed or three-toed?
I thought, yeah.
Oh my god, hard question. Three.
Yeah, three's the way to go.
Yeah, those are the cutest ones.
Yep.
I think that a slot is my spirit animal. Like, I'm really slow and lazy, but when I want to do stuff, I do it fast. That's a slot.
Yeah, we can tell it's rushed. So we
my
mentioned
God.
Kier, right? Your involvement in the community has been, amazing, right? From sponsoring giveaways, like Pablo's, he's okay, I guess. To all the giveaways you've done, to the collabs with Nicholas, Luke Wadey, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And even me, how'd you, you're like, hey, this kid has less than 500 followers. He posts like once a week on his story, but when he posts cardistry, it's really good. I'm going to put him on my trailer. How what's the thought process behind that?
It's
Other
really
than me being so handsome.
It wasn't really. I'm not really.
It was a
looking...
no-brainer, right? I'm so nice. Yeah, you're right. All right, next question.
Yeah, when you talk to people, it's just who you enjoy talking to. I feel like, especially with Instagram, some people know how to talk to you in DMs, and some people just don't. And with some people,
send that question mark? Yeah.
What was that?
You just get a random DM like, "Hey, I have a YouTube channel with 12 subscribers. Send free deck for review."
Right. That's exactly the way not to approach anybody.
Yeah. I think you sound nice enough to like properly reject them instead of blocking them. Which
I don't think I've blocked anybody. If someone messaged me, I'll always message them back. Sometimes I get people to just say hi. I'm like, okay, hi.
Yo.
It's like, what's up? Yeah. But yeah, it's really, you just talk to people. Everybody's, they're just people at the end of the day. You talk to them, if you have a good conversation, you
vibe, you want to work with them.
Exactly. And that's all it is. I don't care if you have 500 followers or, a million followers. Actually, maybe if you had a million, I'd be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to send a deck of oxygen to Neil Patrick Harris. But yeah, crazy. And it's been a lot of different people too. Like, sure, they have kind of similar styles. If you look at, Nicholas's work versus Luke Wadey's work, they're both kind of in that same geometrical type, digital, modern style. But for your content creators too, like, you got like Strictly Cardists, Strictly Magicians. What was his name? Hiroshon, the guy that did the trailer with me.
Yeah, Hiroshon. Yeah, he's nasty.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah, he hasn't been active recently. I wonder how he's doing.
Yeah, hope he's okay. He's probably mad that he only got 3 decks.
Projecting much?
Like, no, I would never. But yeah. Really, it's really good seeing variety from, we can have, there's certain company, OPC, I'm not going to name them, OPC, but they send the same decks that already look the same to the same 3 cardists that make the same 3 videos with the same 3 moves that they repost, you know what I mean? Every single deck. So it's nice to, like you said, find new talent. And Yeah.
Like I said before, there's a lot of talent in the community, and I'm more than happy to tap into it.
Yeah. Exploit people for free decks.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, sure. That's what we're here for, right?
Yeah. Why choose Jay Sankey for your next deck?
Oh yes, spectacles.
Because I know a lot of magicians would throw hands with Jay Sankey. I'm one of them. Adrian too. Pablo too. I think all of us would throw hands with Jay Sankey.
Are you talking about Jay Sankey?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I went to tell my dad goodbye. So yeah.
Anyway, so
he just told me that he's getting me a space for my studios. That's pretty nice.
All right.
Really good news for me.
Oh, he's gonna let you use the basement now.
Oh my God.
We're talking about how he's gonna collab with Jay Sankey and Kier Gomez on his next
Oh yeah, I already knew that.
And we're just talking about why though.
Yeah.
I mean, Jay Sankey is kind of a legend, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Exactly. He is a legend. I mean, the amount of...
he's like the OG.
Yeah.
He's got street cred.
Let's be honest. He's really cringe, but like he's an OG.
He's an OG, but is he good?
I also agree with him being cringe. I think he's awesome.
Debatable.
No, I think he's cool. His magic's not like...
the thing is that his magic is outdated. Like, the way he performs magic is outdated.
2 rubber bands, 1 steel washer. Please examine the type shit. You know what I mean? Instead of, hey, I got this, iPhone. I'm going to turn it into like a card. Turns into a dump pack.
Nick, did you know that Jay Sankey made his own deck before?
Yes, I did.
It was bad.
I wish I didn't, though.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was an adventure looking at that. But
how like I'm really curious about how did you got the job?
It's true. How that
did he just reach out to you like, yo, can you design my deck? I saw you made some really cool decks.
No, he actually
my last deck sucked, so can you do a good one this time?
No, he didn't reach out to me. He reached out to Kier.
Oh.
Yeah, so he reached out to Kier, and Kier called me up, said, "Hey, Jay Sankey's looking for a deck designer. Would you want to work on it?" And honestly, I would be honored to, because he's like you said, he's a legend. And
he did. So Kier didn't thought about me. Okay, I'm hurt. Unfortunate. But that's I mean, at least a good designer got the job, because you can't see these ugly ass decks on Kickstarter. I don't know how they are getting funded.
How much would you have really liked to work with Jay Sankey? I mean, I think you dodged the bullet. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's a good name to add to your resume.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I think Jay could have, worked with anybody. The fact that he reached out to Kier, and Kier was like, "I know who we should work with," and Kier reached out to me. It's for me, it's an honor. I'm ecstatic to work on the deck, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's the same way I felt with Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
When he told me that if I wanted to be his designer. Because, to be honest, I had almost no experience before I made the first aerodynamics deck.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really patient with me. I fucked up some files and stuff like that. No, like legit, I did. I'm not hiding it. I did. And he was like, no, you actually have to do it this way and this way. I was, okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, because I have previously only worked in like 2 decks before the aerodynamics one.
Right.
So yeah, that was a really good experience. Really nice. Like, yeah, shout out to Kevin Ho.
Yeah, I'm assuming from his 3 or 4 years working with the birds, he might have learned a little bit about playing. I just like I don't know.
Of course.
Maybe where they're printed. I don't know if more than that, but yeah, Kevin, probably was super
like
cool.
he actually knows a lot about playing cards.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
I'm sure he does.
Just before we wrap things up, I'd like to return back to your Magic roots and ask, what's your go-to trick?
I don't know if I even
21 card. Yeah, what is it?
I don't even know if I really have one. One that I did with my students that was what was it? It was really just. It doesn't really. I don't really think it really has a name. I would just force a card on them, and then I give them the deck, have them shuffle it, walk away from me, and I would try to figure out what the card was based on like their facial expressions when I asked
Base
the question.
mentalism instead of cringe magic. We stand. Let's go.
Yeah,
mentalism.
That was I guess it's more mentalism than anything else. But that was
mentalism is king.
Yes, sir.
They loved it. They absolutely loved it. They were. Yeah. I had a few kids like that were determined to like catch me out and like make me, think that what they were thinking was wrong, and I get it every time because obviously I forced the card on them. And they had
very important question.
Talking
Which
about
force did you use?
Oh yeah.
The Hindu shot. The Hindu force.
The riffle force.
Riffle force. Yes, the easiest
one. Okay.
Classic. Okay.
That's a good one.
I see it.
Yeah.
By the way,
about
any
to do the
listening,
sidestep shuffle force thing or the cross force or something like that.
The cross cut is good.
The Chris cut, I don't like the Chris cut force.
It's the worst one.
It doesn't feel natural to me.
It works, but I don't know about that.
There are better forces. Like Danny Ortiz has so many good forces. Better than that, the fucking crisscross.
Everybody gangs them until they pick up the wrong packet and they're like, "Oh, this is where I cut." And they're like, "No, you cut to this one. No, this."
Yeah, that's horrendous. I don't like that at all.
Fun. Any performers watching? Not only, we don't condone Asian hate, but if you see somebody using the crisscross force, well, maybe hate is a little bit fine. But never underestimate forcing a card and revealing that shit. That is just, because normal people, they don't know. They don't know that their free choice isn't a free choice.
Mentalism is king again. I remember this time I made a girl cry because I did this routine by Brandon Quinn that you make them forget a name, something like that. So powerful. Like first time I made someone cry because of how powerful and emotional the effect was.
Yeah, girls usually cry with me, but for different reasons. And let me tell you a story recently. Before we close up, at work yesterday, I guessed a zodiac sign, and then everybody was telling like one of the new workers, "Yo, this guy can read your mind. This guy can read your mind." And they're like, "All right, sure, try me." And I'm like, "All right, just go ahead and think of the first vegetable that pops into your head." I literally guessed and I said broccoli, and she started freaking out, and she's like, "Oh, I feel uncomfortable. Why is he reading my mind?" So, just try mentalism. It's addictive, and some would say that, but I wouldn't be one of those people. And yeah, go out there, read minds, have fun,
it's
drink
pretty
water,
good.
wear a mask, do drugs. No. So yeah,
only meth.
Only meth, and if it's cooked by Nick, Nick, you want to tell us about your? So we got Slow Hands Elemental. What about the meth page, or do you want to keep that one private?
The next meth deck.
Yeah, Elemental Playing Cards Meth Edition. Let's go. Yeah, that was fun though.
We will definitely have you back.
If you want.
Because you want, because this was such a nice episode.
I'll definitely be back if you have me.
Really chill.
Very cool, very cool.
Very cool. So I don't know who wants to close. the episode.
You're never
Me?
close. Close,
Yeah.
come on, yeah.
All
You know we're
right,
close.
so
You can't do closer than cardistry. Maybe you can do it for a podcast.
I'm a
Roasted.
fit to quit, man. All right, so this has been another episode of the Paperless Podcast. I am your
Brought
host,
to you
Curtis.
by NordVPN
Oh yeah,
and
Sponsored
Beyond
by-
this.
All right,
and
so yes,
EPC.
so this has been an episode with Pablo and Adrian as usual, and along
Hey.
with our very special guest, Nick. So yeah.
Nick, any last word? No, well, not like that. We're not gonna kill you. You know,
Yeah,
Discord
to
isn't
kill
like
you.
a. Yeah. Anything you want to say? One last time? No.
One last word.
Just talk to the people. What do you want to say?
Any last words I want to say? Before... no, it's, thanks
Before we
for
end your career.
yeah, right. Just, thanks for having me on. It was real fun, and I hope we do it again.
Yeah,
I'm
for
coming
sure.
soon. You heard it here first.
I thank you, Nick, for sending everyone listening to this one deck of playing cards.
Free, yeah. I
And
heard you guys
sending,
smoke it.
and
the Smoke
sending
Mirrors
us
V3.
a brick
You're
of
gonna,
cards.
yeah, of each of your decks. You know, you have 8, but like, I know you're gonna print some more and send them to us. You know? It's fine. All right.
But yeah, this was such a nice episode. Really insightful. You have such great stories. So, yeah,
Thank you.
thank you everyone listening to this. We appreciate you. We do this because you listening. You listen to us. So
Yeah,
okay.
checking that we had more than 3 viewers was very encouraging. So shout out to the 5 people listening. We appreciate you.
For sure. So okay, peace.